You're good. You are really, really good. I have got to tell you right now, this is, and I'm not just giving you a line, this is in my top 10, if not top 5 for 2015. Congratulations.
Right on, man. I appreciate it, bro.
But what's it like to direct, to write, be part of the Rocky legacy? I mean, what kind of pressure is that to get it right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of pressure. You know, it was helpful that I had the people who made all of the films, you know, involved, especially Sly, who wrote them all and starred in them all and directed most of them. You know, so having him there and present, you know, and as a resource was very liberating. You know, if we were off doing it in a vacuum, you know, and not shooting in Philadelphia and didn't have Rocky and Irwin and those guys around, then I think it would be, you know, pressure maybe insurmountable. You know, but because I had, and then I also was able to bring along a lot of my frequent collaborators, my composer Ludwig Göransson, my picture editors, you know what I mean, Mike. You know, having that comfort level as well was extremely helpful.
Tell me about the inspiration for this story. Why the Apollo Creed angle?
I mean, the biggest inspiration is the relationship between, you know, my dad and myself, and that's kind of what inspires what happens to the Rocky character. You know what I mean, later on in the film, when he's facing challenges with his health. And I was always a fan of Apollo Creed. I always been attracted to characters that kind of on the outskirts of movies. I mean, it might have been come from me growing up black. You know what I mean, and loving pop culture, and often wanting to see more representations of people like myself. You know, it might come from that maybe, but I was always interested in Apollo Creed, and I always, you know, loved him, and always wondered what if there was more to his story, or, you know, what was happening with his family. You know what I mean? Those kind of questions. So that's kind of how I came to having this character be who we follow.
Well, it's genius, because there's a scene, I'm not going to ruin it, but there's a scene where the shorts come out, and that the whole theater just went, ah! And I was like, this is Creed, this is what it's all about.
Oh, man.
Walk me through the pitch, though. When you, I mean, obviously, Fruitvale Station, great movie, but
Thank
fantastic resume. You already have, this is only your second, but, you know, how do you go pitch a Rocky movie to Sylvester Stallone? That, I wouldn't even imagine doing it. What was that like?
Oh, man, I don't know. I mean, I know the movies like the back of my hand from my relationship with my dad. So I'm not gonna say I know him as good as Sly, because that came out of his brain. But I mean, I know the movies. You know what I mean? I know what every character does and says and all of that. You know, so I felt comfortable in terms of my knowledge of what had happened before. So, you know, and just telling him, you know, first thing I told him about was me, and I told him about my dad and our relationship and how I came to the movies, why my dad likes the movies. You know. And I told him what happened with my dad's health at the time. At that time when I met him, you know, we didn't know if my dad was gonna make it or not. You know, thankfully he's good. He's here with us now.
Wonderful.
Well, thank you, man. But you know, I kind of told him about all that stuff, and then I told him what would happen in the movie, and he kind of listened, and he was like, all right, that sounds interesting. All right, and I was like, man, can I take a picture from my? He was like, yeah, we took a picture, and I went back to Oakland and made Fruitvale. You know, and then we talked, and we talked later. But yeah, that was kind of how it was. I kind of had to take put the nervousness out of my head for a bit, you know, and just talk to him. But it was nerve-wracking though.